Hey guys, welcome to the SimRacingPaddock. I'm William Marsh, and let's talk about sim racing and professional race car drivers. One of the interesting parts of sim racing is that you never know who you're going to come up against. Since professional race car drivers use different simulators as a training tool, sometimes you'll find yourself wheel to wheel against a pro. In the past, I've been in races against NASCAR drivers such as Kyle Larson and Jeffrey Earnhardt, and those have turned out to be fun events. However, sometimes things can go a bit sour, and that can lead to trouble. Scott Speed, former F1 and NASCAR driver and current Red Bull Global Rallycross champion, was recently suspended from iRacing after repeated patterns of overly aggressive driving. However, when I looked into those circumstances, I found things to be rather interesting. Let's talk about it. A few days ago, a couple clips surfaced from Twitch streamer Jake Hewlett, showing an incident he had with Scott Speed, and then a series of retaliations that Speed attempted on Hewlett.
Yields, okay. I say thank you in chat for this, by the way. Already pushes really close, I had to let off the brake. And then we have that, okay, yeah, that's number one. Okay, good job. I guess we're going for free. Ah, you missed again. Full. Absolute full.
The clips went viral and led to a subsequent video surfacing showing a pattern of aggressive driving, which I will provide a link in the description below. This turned into a rather interesting situation when you take into consideration the fact that Scott Speed is a spokesperson for the service he has now been suspended from. He played a major role in the implementation of the Rallycross discipline to iRacing, and it is his Andretti Autosport Volkswagen Beetle that you get for free in the service. So, to put it lightly, Scott Speed was heavily involved with the development. So, first off, I want to give credit where it is due to iRacing. I could imagine it could have been quite a predicament for iRacing. It could have been easy for them to sweep this under the rug and pretend the issue doesn't exist or something like that. However, they decided to treat Scott as a member of the service and doled out the suspension, which was well deserved given his behavior. However, I decided to look into Scott's stats, and it's rather interesting. I never had studied Scott's stats, so I decided to take a look at his iRacing profile, expecting to see a consistent pattern of reckless driving. Surprisingly, what I found was the exact opposite. It looks like, for the most part, Scott was a fairly clean driver. While his road racing average incident count was slightly higher than his oval or dirt road stats, that average was still at under 4 incidents per race. For those of you who don't know how the iRacing incident system works, you gain 1 incident point for driving off track, 2 incident points for a heavy impact with a wall, and 4 incident points for heavy contact with another driver. With Scott Speed's average incident count being under 4, that means he usually does not hit other cars. However, there is no denying that something changed. In the span of 2 days, he had 2 road course races where he racked up 13 incidents each. Also, seeing some YouTube videos from December, he was intentionally wrecking people in Rallycross events. So this appears to be a fairly recent development. I know Scott Speed is a driver who has been known for being controversial given his F1, stock car, and GRC experience. I'm wondering if there's something behind the scenes in his life that popped up in recent months that might have sent him down some sort of spiral, causing this reckless behavior, selling his sim rig, insulting fellow racers, and so on. For a racer that's been known as a mostly clean driver in iRacing for 7 years, this is something that's alarming. Hopefully someday, Scott might be able to settle down, maybe sort out whatever's going on in his life, and could possibly come back. However, he's behind the 8 ball now. A racer is only as good as his recent finishes, and we are sure to remember what he's done. If he comes back, he'll definitely need to show that he's capable of being a clean driver again and not letting his temper get the best of him. In closing, I want to say that anyone is capable of having a bad day, even professionals. Scott Speed obviously let his temper get the best of him, and it resulted in a fitting punishment. How he handled it might have not been the best reaction, but just remember, we're still human, we make mistakes. How we respond to our mistakes and deal with our flaws will determine how we're remembered. Ball's in Scott's court. Is he going to let this temper tantrum define him, or will he find an opportunity to redeem himself? Time will tell.